Hey everybody, Isaac, the Handyman Leatherman. We're here with the several new things we'll be talking about today. First, we'll be stripping acoustical ceilings, aka popcorn ceilings. Second, I'm going to be showing you how to do a repair on a ceiling where a light receptacle was, and they put a block-off plate on it, and they ran all their can lights around it. You can see the can lights behind me. We're going to show you how to plug that repair so that way it can be textured over. Third, we've got a wallpaper bathroom. Now, masking wallpaper off is real tricky because you don't want regular white Scotch tape that we're using to hang this plastic behind us, because it will pull wallpaper and damage it. So we're going to use some special tape. So I'm going to show you how to do that and much, much more. So stay tuned and let's get to work. Follow me. Hello, how's it going today? Oh wait, you can't see me. I'm down here. Hold on, let me come up to you. Oh, it's kind of comical watching a pudgy guy put stilts on, isn't it? Well, there we go. I'm out of breath. Okay, so today we're talking about acoustical ceilings. The question is, what is acoustical ceilings? Some people call it popcorn. That's what it is. It was really popular back in the 70s. Nobody really cares for it much anymore. And it seems like all we do anymore is remove it. So if you see above me, it's acoustical ceilings. If you rub your hands across it, this stuff just falls off everywhere. That's one of some people's biggest complaint when they're trying to clean the ceiling, and it just falls down everywhere. Plus, it kind of dates the home. So what we're going to show today is how to strip it. Why we want to strip it. And because mainly, a lot of people, they say it really drops the resale. It's one of the simplest things you could do to a home that makes it really good for resale. So that's something to keep in mind when you're doing it. But can anybody do it? That is a good question. Yes, you can, but it is messy. It comes down, if you use water like we're going to use today, comes down almost like wet oatmeal. So as you could tell, it would be very messy. But as you can see behind me, I've got everything plasticed off. See that? The whole room is draped. The floors are covered. The light is masked. Everything is 100% protected. So, to start with, you need water. Not all ceiling. Now, if it's been painted before, sometimes you can still get it off, but you might have to scrape it a little bit, then wet it down so that the water could go in to loosen it up. But if it's like this one, it crumbles right off, so it has not been painted. So, how to apply water to it. So, one of the simplest things to do that most people have around is just a garden sprayer, pump-up sprayer, and you spray it up there. Now, when you spray it up there, you'll see it get dark. If it gets dark, you know that it's soaking in. So, let's put a little water on it and see what this looks like. Okay, so I don't use a pump-up sprayer because I'm doing about 2,000 square feet here today. So we're just going to show you what I use. I use my airless paint sprayer, which works really well because I just run water through it. I'm going to be using it anyways after I get it all textured and get it painted. So let's check this out. I don't know if you could tell, but it kind of got darker right through here. And see right here is the line where I stopped. You see how much whiter it is there? and back here is darker. So that's showing you that it is soaking in. So that's a good thing. So let's go ahead. I'm going to spray this whole room. Then we're going to strip it. So let's follow along as we do this. All right, real misty in here. It's like I'm in the middle of the rainforest or something. It's just like pretty cool, but getting humid. So let's move on to the scraping part now. So there's been different ways you could do it. Some people use a smaller like putty knives, 5-in-1s. I like to use a mud knife. This is my 8-inch mud knife. As you can tell, I don't clean anything, it's dirty. But over time, these things get a little bit sharp, and so it's got a little bit of an edge on it. Because when you go a little bit wider like this, then it's less chance of it digging in. So you got to look down the knife, and you can kind of see the curve. It's got a little bit of a bow. So we're going to try to use that bow to keep the edges from digging in. So let's start seeing how this works. As you can see, it's coming right off. This one, apparently somebody put a primer on first, which is good because it keeps it, that's probably why it's lasted this long, because this is an older house. So normally though, sometimes you'll see the actual bare sheetrock. So let's go ahead and get this whole place scraped. This one appears to be somebody tried to paint this at one time. They probably painted it, I don't know what they did with, but probably some kind of sprayer, an airless type of thing. So it put a light coat on the top, but it did, when people roll them with the roller, it pushes that paint into them, then they don't want to strip. So if you run into that, then we'll have to attack that on a different video, because there is a process you could do to get rid of that acoustic without too much major work. So let's keep on scraping this thing. It's going to be a little slower than I wanted to do it, but we're going to try it anyways. Found a little star. I got a bunch of them on the ceiling. One of those reflective stars. When you go to sleep at night, the ceiling looks like it's a starry sky. So anyways, I run into this a lot too, but see you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so this ceiling's taking a little while. I hit a spot over this way here. It looks like somebody had done some kind of primer on it, so it must have been a previous leak. And so that's why it's fighting me, but we're going to get it. Oh, look at me. I'm a hot mess. Whew. I tell you what. Okay, we got it all stripped. Now, what is the next step? Let's find out. Okay, everybody, the next step, the screw gun. This is my rigid strip screw gun, and I love this thing. It works really good for the ceilings. We're going to go around and find all the nail heads that look to be getting loose, and we're going to re-screw off the ceiling. Because of expansion, contraction, nails work their way out, and we don't want this ceiling causing these people any more problems. So let's screw it off. All right, I think we got the ceiling all screwed off. Oh, there's another one right there. Yeah, you can kind of see when they dimple in, see where they need to screw. So, that part is done. Next part, mud out the nail heads. Not just the screws we put in, but even the old ones. We don't want no dimples to show through our texture. So let's start mudding. And when we find one that didn't set all the way, make sure you don't just mud over it. You tighten it up and make it right. There we go. Yeah, baby. I ran out of mud. I'll be right back. Okay, we got some more mud. I had a little bit left, but the ceiling sucks the moisture out of it. It gets too thick to use. So let's get back to mudding. Okay, we're almost done here. We got to remember that these ceilings are on 16-inch centers. Some houses are on 24, so you got to make sure what yours is, and so that way when you get done, you think you're done, you go back and look. If you notice that there is, you can see those lines behind me, there's 16 inches difference. If there's one not there, you know you missed a row, so it's good to double check. Because once you got all the texture on it, it's hard to go back and fix that stuff. Now's the time. And one little row here. And if you got any little tears on the sheetrock where you were scraping and it kind of dug it just a little bit, pull a really tight pull over that. So, and then, okay, I'm just using regular box mud, all-purpose, and we're putting a thin layer on. It don't take a lot. Texture is going to cover everything else up. So, well, this room is prepped. The rest of the house is prepped. Let's go to the next step. Follow me. All right, everybody, we ready for the wallpaper? You see it behind me? Pretty crazy, huh? Not as crazy as me, but pretty crazy. So, wallpaper. We have this Scotch brand delicate surface tape. Comes in purple now. It used to be in a blue, but now it's in a purple. So I guess they did that to distinguish between the blue, and because not all blue is the same. So let's get it opened up and then start masking. All right, so we see it behind me. I already ran it around the room to save us a little time. Now we're going to stick the plastic to it. You don't have to they don't want to stick very good because it's not really designed to be real sticky. So we're just going to kind of tack it underneath there, just enough to hold it up, like that. Now, the white masking tape. We're going to go over the top of it and attach one side to the tape, the other side to the plastic. All right, this room is ready to texture. I just got to pull his vent down. Look at that. Somebody, whoever did the ceiling last, did not scrape the acoustic around that. So we'll have to scrape that. And run some tape up here because we don't want texture to get all over the inside of this. So we're going to run some tape in here and then we'll shove a little bit of plastic in here. So, and wouldn't you know, it's all dirty in here. I don't know why it would be all dirty. It's not like it collects all the dust. No, we know it sucks up all the dust and everything in here. So it's a little dusty in here. So we'll get it here. There we go. There we go. Now we just got to put a little bit of plastic in it. And this room is ready to texture. So let's move on to the next room. Hey everybody, I'm up on my stilts again. Sorry I'm looking down on you. This is the highest I could get this camera. But anyways, right behind me, right here, plastic cover over an electrical box. We're going to pull it off, put some sheetrock over it. So let's pull out the Leatherman tool. This is my Super Tool 300, my favorite one. This thing is strong. I've had this thing, I broke it several times, and Leatherman is so awesome, they've replaced it for me every single time. So let's pull out our flathead screwdriver, pull this cover off, and see what we have inside. Okay, as you can see, they took the wire, they ran it through the other side of the box, so it's just nothing but just a box in the wall, in the ceiling, excuse me. Let's go ahead and get a piece of sheetrock. I'll show you how to plug this up. Okay, so I got a piece of sheetrock and I cut it to a square that fits almost a box. Now we just got to cut the edges off of it, kind of dog ear, 4 sides. They don't have to be too pretty, because we're going to be notching it some more. So we're notching 4 sides. Okay, we've got kind of an octagon. We can kind of fit it in here a little bit. It's fitting in there. But we're going to have to make it smaller because there's a box right there. So let's make it a little bit smaller. So kind of give us an idea what's going on. We're going to kind of go like that. And like that. Yep. Pop those off. We can just rip them back. We just need a black backer is what we're looking for. Well, that's getting kind of funky looking, huh? Okay. spin this around, find a good shape here. Boy, it's got a funky shape here. We're gonna notch that a little bit. It's getting there. Good dog ear this corner, dog ear that corner. See, it's kind of fitting in there now. So, goes like that. We're just gonna whack it off. Okay, we're getting there. So now I got this little notch to do here. So I'm just kind of marking that. I like it to fit kind of snug. There we go. Okay. So, there we go. That's what we're... Alrighty then. So we got that in there. The next step, we're just going to pre-fill it full of mud. So I've got some 45-minute mud. It comes in a paper bag. You just add water to it to the right consistency. Let's mud it out. All right, so the reason we put that block off plate is in there because we didn't want the mud to go all the way up and fill that entire box. Sometimes there's still electrical stuff in there. That way you still have access to a junction box from the top, but you don't want to fill all the electrical stuff full of mud. So we pre-filled it, and now we're going to put a little bit of this green fiberglass tape over it. All right, so we got it fiber taped. We're going to put a little bit more mud over it. Mainly worried about the edges. That's what's going to hold it in. We'll put a little bit across the middle. All right. All right. Let's let that dry. Be back in about 45 minutes and we'll get it all, pull a second coat on it, and then it'll be ready for texture. 5960. All right, it's been 45 minutes. Yep, it feels dry. Now we're gonna do another coat of mud on it. But before we do it, we're just gonna kind of lightly scrape it. You got little fiberglass fibers. We want to kind of cut them off. We don't want them sticking through our texture. There you go. Oh yeah, it barely needs any mud. We're going to pull a nice coat of mud on it. All right. Beautiful. When that dries, it's ready for texture. So it won't take long to dry because the mud underneath it, even though it was dry, it has a little bit of moisture, but it started drying out itself. So that will help the next coat to dry out really good. All right, let's move on to our next step. All right, that is the last step, just before we texture. We went around and we stripped all the acoustic to the whole house. We screwed it all up, and then we mudded all the nail heads. And then, after the ceiling dries, 360 sander. These things are amazing. A lot of your big box stores sell them, Sherwin-Williams. Anyways, it's a lot easier to sand without it flipping over if you ever used a pole sander before. So we lightly sanded, knocked all the burrs off. Now it's ready to texture. So that's enough for this video. Come back for the next video. We're going to be showing different kinds of textures. orange peel and knockdown and what things look like. So thank you so much for watching this video with us. I hope you learned something. And if you haven't subscribed already, subscribe, give me a thumbs up. And if you have any questions or if you want to see a different type of video, I do a big variety of things with painting and drywall and handyman work. So until we meet again, your handy Leatherman will be here for you anytime you need me. So until then, have fun, stay out of trouble.